Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to our writing lesson today on informative writing for the draft and ending. Now, what I want to say right now is that this lesson can be for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, so this is for the rest of the week so you can take your time and your parents don't have to feel stressed. And you'll see this is not a hard lesson, okay? But I just want to make sure that I give people time. I understand that you might need a little extra time. So here we go about informative writing. So in our last lesson, I gave you an example of planning the main topic, and I had chosen to do musical instruments. Now, as a little reminder, I've left this in here that you can use EPIC, and there's the class code, or any books that you have for the topic that you would like to use, okay? It doesn't have to be anything big and involved, and you'll see by what I've done. If you want to go back to the other lesson and look at my book, that I read to you just to remember what it was that I'm talking about, you can do that. But I think you'll remember when you see this lesson. Okay, so there were some steps that we already have done. Step one was to find a topic and a book. Okay, check, I did that. Step two was to make a plan that shows the information I want to include. Check, I did that. And the reason I do that is because it's going to help me remember what I want to write about. Okay? So here's number three. Step three is to write the draft. Now, what is a draft? Okay, it's your first try to write something, and it does not have to be perfect. Okay, that's important. This is where you take all those different ideas that you've put in that idea web, and now you're putting them into sentences. Okay, so you can add to it or change it later. That's why it's a draft. It's not a published piece, it's a draft. Okay. Now, as a reminder, this is my idea web. I have put as my main topic that it's musical instruments. And three of the things that I would like to try to include in my draft are instruments you blow into, instruments you strum, and that you can also play in bands. So those are the things that I'm going to put into my piece. So here I've shown you that I'm going to just concentrate first on the first one because I want to start and do it a little bit at a time. I don't want to look and say, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff I have to put in and think I'm going to put it in one sentence. No, look at the first box and concentrate on that, okay? So here is my draft. My first sentence includes my topic. There are lots of musical instruments. Now here I go for the information I'm taking from my first idea box. Some instruments you blow into. You press buttons to play different notes. So I gave a little information about the instruments that you blow into. Okay? Not difficult. You could take that even just from the picture that you saw. All right, now here's more writing to take in my other two boxes. Some instruments you strum, and people can play musical instruments together in a band. Okay, so I have gotten the things that I wanted. But now, all right, I am looking at that and it's like, okay, but I need an ending now. All right, so an ending kind of finishes up what I've been writing about. Okay, and I want to also make my ending interesting. So when I do that, sometimes I'm going to ask a few questions to myself about my draft, and then it can help me think of an ending that makes my writing more complete. All right, because right there it just kind of ends, doesn't tie it all together and make it interesting to finish. So here's examples of some questions that I can ask myself about maybe a way I can make an ending sentence more interesting. So what's the most important thing for readers to remember about my topic? Well, I want them to think, hey, anyone can play an instrument, and there are a lot to choose from. You can pick so many. How do I want my readers to feel about my topic? Well, I'd like them to think that playing a musical instrument can be fun, okay? And what question could I ask readers to get them thinking? I could say, would you like to play an instrument? Or what kind of instrument would you play? So those are different things that I could say to myself as I'm rereading my draft and think, how could I make an interesting ending to my piece? Well, let's look at what I've done here. As you can see, in pink is my ending sentence. So I'm going to start from the beginning and go right through. There are lots of musical instruments. Some instruments you blow into. You press buttons to play different notes. Some instruments you strum. People can play musical instruments together in a band. Anyone can play a musical instrument. What instrument would you like to play? So that's how I chose to end it for now. Okay, now remember, this is a draft, and next week we'll work on it a little bit, okay, to make it a published piece. So as I said, you have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, okay? If you get it done Wednesday, great. Hold on to it. You don't send it to me next. You don't send it to me yet because it is a draft. Now, if you would like to send it to me because you have a question, of course I will take a look at it. But if you feel comfortable putting your ideas into sentences, take your idea web and your draft, put it aside, and then wait for our next assignment. Okay? So I look forward to reading your drafts if you would like me to. Okay? If you feel comfortable with it, that's fine. I can't wait. And any questions, you know right where to reach me. Okay. Bye-bye.